Chicago O'Hare is one of the busiest airports in the world. But right now, the system there is starting to show some serious cracks. As of today, more than 600 flights have been delayed, and over 40 flights have already been canceled. And when disruption hits a hub like O'Hare, it doesn't stay in Chicago. The ripple effects spread across the entire U.S. air travel network. At first glance, many passengers assume delays like this are caused by weather. But this situation is more complicated. What we are seeing right now is a combination of infrastructure limits, aggressive airline scheduling, and a regional airline system that is under enormous pressure. And when all of those factors collide at one of the largest airline hubs in the United States, the result can quickly turn into operational chaos. To understand what is happening, we need to start with how O'Hare actually works. Chicago O'Hare serves as a major hub for both United Airlines and American Airlines. In airline operations, a hub is essentially a connection center where flights from many smaller cities arrive. Passengers transfer between aircraft and then depart again to destinations across the country or around the world. Airlines organize these hubs around what are called arrival and departure banks. Aircraft arrive in waves within a short window of time. Passengers make connections inside the terminal, and then a large group of departures leaves shortly afterward. This system is extremely efficient for moving passengers, but it also means that a large number of aircraft are trying to land, taxi, and depart within very tight time windows. Under normal circumstances, that already pushes airport capacity close to its limits. But right now, O'Hare is dealing with another complication: runway construction. When one or more runways are unavailable, the airport simply cannot move aircraft as quickly as it normally would. Think of it like a highway where multiple lanes suddenly close. The number of cars hasn't changed, but the road capacity has decreased. And once that happens, delays begin almost immediately. Aircraft may have to hold in the air waiting for an available runway. Taxi times on the ground increase. Departure queues get longer. And when a few flights fall behind schedule, the delays begin cascading through the system. But runway construction alone doesn't explain the scale of disruption we are seeing. Another major factor is airline scheduling. Over the past few years, airlines have aggressively rebuilt their flight schedules as travel demand returned. Passenger demand has surged back to near record levels, and airlines want to capture as much of that demand as possible. However, airport infrastructure and airspace capacity have not expanded at the same pace. In practical terms, this means that some airports are now operating extremely close to their operational limits. Chicago O'Hare is one of the clearest examples of this pressure. Both United Airlines and American Airlines operate massive hub operations there. And competition between the two carriers has encouraged dense scheduling, with many flights arriving and departing within the same narrow time windows. From a competitive standpoint, this makes sense. More flights mean more connections and more market share, but operationally, it leaves very little margin for disruption. Once delays begin, the entire hub structure can start to break down. Another key piece of this puzzle is the regional airline network. Many of the flights feeding passengers into large hubs are operated by regional carriers such as SkyWest or PSA Airlines. These airlines fly smaller aircraft that connect smaller cities into the larger airline network. Regional aircraft typically operate extremely tight schedules. One aircraft might fly 5 or 6 short flights in a single day. When delays start stacking up, these regional operations can quickly become overwhelmed. Aircraft arrive late, crews approach their duty limits, passengers miss connections, and recovering the schedule becomes increasingly difficult as the day goes on. Now regulators are also starting to raise concerns. The Federal Aviation Administration has warned that some major airports are approaching unsustainable levels of congestion during peak travel periods. Looking ahead to the summer travel season, the FAA has been considering limits on the number of daily operations at certain congested airports. If those limits are implemented, airlines may need to reduce the number of flights they schedule. Estimates suggest that more than 50,000 flights across the United States could be removed from schedules in order to bring airport traffic back within manageable limits. And when flight capacity decreases while demand remains high, ticket prices usually move in the opposite direction. Some analysts are already warning that airfares could rise by 15 to 30% in certain markets if airlines are forced to reduce schedules. So the situation unfolding at Chicago O'Hare may actually be a preview of a much larger challenge facing the aviation industry. Air travel demand continues to grow. Airlines want to operate more flights, but airports, runways, airspace, and staffing all have very real limits. When those limits are pushed too far, the system begins to slow down, exactly the way we are seeing now. For passengers traveling today, the delays are frustrating. But from an operational perspective, they reveal a deeper question. Can the current aviation system keep expanding without major infrastructure upgrades? Or are we beginning to see the early signs that the system has reached its practical limits? If you enjoy aviation industry analysis and operational breakdowns like this, subscribe to AirOps Control for more.